Morning from Mission Control Houston, and welcome to today's International Space Station update. Joining us here inside of the flight control room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, with the Orbit 2 team currently on console monitoring this orbiting laboratory. Team being led today by Flight Director Ed Van Cise. Joining him at the Capcom position right next to him is Kathy Bolt, serving as the communication link between all of our teams down here on the ground and the astronauts up in space. And those astronauts right now, the crew of Expedition 34, moving into their third full day as an Expedition 34 crew. All the way on the left there, the Commander NASA astronaut Kevin Ford on his second space flight. He is joined by two Russian cosmonauts Oleg Novitsky and Evgeny Tarelkin, both rookie space flyers on their first flight on board the International Space Station. Crew moving into its first full work day following a day off and a light duty day yesterday, which was due to the extensive work they were doing over the weekend to prepare for an undocking and departure of three of their former crew members. Sunny Williams, Yuri Malenchko, and Aki Hoshide successfully landing in Kazakhstan back on Sunday, bringing an end to Expedition 33 and beginning Expedition 34. Today, Commander Kevin Ford has been working inside of the Material Science Laboratory. He's been doing some cleaning of the cooling zone. The Material Science Laboratory is used to provide controlled material processing conditions on board the International Space Station, also some advanced diagnostics, and then it allows many material types such as different metals and alloys, also materials such as polymers and semiconductors, even ceramics and crystals and different types of glass to be studied in order to discover new applications for all of these existing materials, and then potentially develop new or improved materials. Aside from that work, he's been doing some sample analysis today inside of the station's environmental health system over in the Total Organic Carbon Analyzer, which is part of the station's water recovery system, which looks to constantly monitor the astronauts' drinking water, ensure that it is healthy and safe for them. Meanwhile, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Novitsky, immediately upon waking up today, participated in the Russian Sprut experiment, which looks to assess the human body's adaptation mechanisms, and also look into developing different methods to prevent the unfavorable impact that zero gravity has on the human body's hydration status, and also any potential countermeasures they can develop to assist the astronauts in their post-flight orthostatic tolerance, just something that helps them adapt better to normal gravity once they come back down to Earth. Aside from this, he's been fixing a electrocardiogram monitor to himself to begin a 24-hour monitoring session. It was also transferring some cargo out of the 49 Progress vehicle, and then moving some items to eventually be discarded into the also docked 48 Progress. Then our third Russian cosmonaut, Evgeny Tarelkin, is taking some blood and saliva samples today for a Russian crew health monitoring experiment that he'll do throughout his long-duration space flight, as the controllers both here in Mission Control Houston and over in Koryov, Russia, constantly monitoring the health status of these astronauts throughout their expedition flights. Aside from that, he'll be over in the Russian segment doing an audit of some of the remaining lights and the spare units on board, also doing some maintenance on the Russian spare atmosphere purification system emergency vacuum valves, one of the more complex devices inside of the station's air revitalization system. Again, much like the water recovery system that Kevin Ford is working on today, that air purification system dedicated to ensuring these astronauts have a safe and healthy environment throughout their long-duration space flights.